All right, we are live. 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, 12:30 Eastern. We're going to wait 5 minutes for everyone to pile on in, and we will go over everything. I just finished going through all of the Major League Baseball, just finished going through all of the NBA. Yeah, it's off. Can't see. There it is. Now we're good. All right. We are on. We are ready. All right. So just wait a couple minutes for them to get in. I'm just going to look through all the accounts one more time and see what else I got for you guys. It's business today. No time to waste. No time to waste. Welcome, Jack. My man Cam. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming, boys. All right. All right. My pleasure, Paul. My pleasure, brother. I love doing these. I love doing these. Like I said, the reason for this, above anything else, was I had gotten to that 8-year mark. I had won 7 out of 8 years. That's documented. That was up at thebigmoves.com and then also at wagertalk.com. With 30 plus cappers, there's no reason to lie. They're not going to just do it for me. But more importantly, with so many eyes on me, trust me when I tell you, if there was just one mistake, like if a play was graded as a push when it lost, the customer service would get 20, 30 emails immediately calling to correct it. So rest assured, the results are legit. I had won 7 of 8 years, and we had like a meet and greet and just talking to other subscribers. And I realized, dude, so many didn't make money. Like, not only did they pay for my subscription, but then they lost money to their bookie, even though I won. Like, all they had to do was mimic what I was doing. That's it. They didn't have to do anything. Just follow that blueprint. And they would have turned a profit 7 of 8 years. They would have multiplied their bankroll 6, 7, 8, 9x to where now it's a free roll, like it's been for me for the last, 7, 8 years. And when I saw that wasn't happening, I knew something has to change. So that's where we came up with the Steam Room, where I want to focus on those guys that want to take this journey with me long term, that actually do want to turn a profit year after year. And it's not about winning today or paying this month's rent or making money for that vacation, but it's actually using sports betting as an investment vehicle like any other market. You know, if you're diversified, then you got a little bit of money in the stock market, you got a little bit in crypto, you got a little bit in gold. If you're lucky, you got a little bit in real estate, and then you're also in the sports betting market. It's just another investment vehicle. And at this point in my life, the reason I'm still betting sports, honestly, is the same reason I still play blackjack. It's beatable. It's free money. You just have to bend over and pick it up. But to do so takes some work. And it sounds like free money, but that's based on your understanding of how to use the information and how to be disciplined enough to follow through. Because again, if your goal's like my goal, I'm not going to disappoint you. And I have one goal every year. January 1st, I start at zero. I start with the same bankroll. And my goal is on December 31st to be in that 0.5% of bettors on the planet that can say, I made money betting sports this year. Because that's correct. I see everyone going crazy over this new tax bill. And worry about winning. Then worry about your taxes. Most are losing 99.5% of everyone betting sports today, right now. Everyone in the sports book, everyone on gambling Twitter, 99.5% of them are down money betting sports, are not ahead. So I know they make it look easy on gambling Twitter. I know they show you some beautiful cars, some awesome jewelry, great nightclubs, even big cash bets. But the numbers don't lie. 99.5% of sports bettors have negative lifetime earnings. That's the bottom line. And that's not because 99.5% are unable to win. It's because 99.5% are unable to be disciplined enough to win. Same reason why some people have financial freedom and others don't. I know guys, I was talking to my girl about this. I know a friend of mine that makes over $1 million a year. He's done so for the last decade. And he's in debt. Sure, he lives like he has a nice lifestyle, but he's living paycheck to paycheck. Like as if you're broke, you just have nice things, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck. And then I know another friend of mine that maybe never made more than 50 grand in his life. And at 45, he's financially secure. He's got his feet kicked up and he could care less. Two different lifestyles, two different amounts of money they made. One did the right things with it. The other one didn't. Same thing with sports betting. There's few out there that have winning information or have the ability to beat laying 11 to 10. That's part of the equation. The other part is actually taking that and turning it into money, manifesting money with that information. That's a very different skill set, because I know a lot of guys that know a lot about sports that could sit here and run circles around me on talking about Major League Baseball teams and players and the stats and all this nonsense that isn't going to help them win in the world of laying 11 to win 10. That's the bottom line. So this room, the Steam Room, that's what it's for. It's to get rid of all the noise, all the bullshit, and chill with somebody that does this for real. I'd like you guys know, I have a high school education. I came to Las Vegas all alone by myself at 25 years old with $600, nobody waiting for me. I went broke multiple times chasing this dream, even with access to winning information, until finally, I decided to use the blueprint that was already in me, that I already knew, but to actually follow through. And I've never looked back. My life has changed forever. And I now work with the same bankroll I've worked the last 10 years just about. And it's just another one of them investments. And I hope many of you that want to use sports betting for that purpose get there as well. And the purpose of this room is to help you get there in a shorter amount of time. Just like I had the Blackjack course. And right now, anyone that signs up for the year, check this shit out. Again, you're going to get the place. Anyone that signs up for the year gets the Blackjack course. I don't know how long they're going to extend this, and they really shouldn't for all that long, because I want to teach it again coming up. I'm just keeping it real because I think there's nothing more valuable than that. Again, it's great that I'm proud of the fact I've won 8 of the last 10 years documented, sharing my sports betting information. But they need me for that. With Blackjack, they don't need me anymore. I don't mind. I love that. That I teach them that skill set. I give them the blueprint, and now it's on them. Take that for the rest of their life, improve on it, use it, make money with it. I've gotten so many DMs from guys that took that course telling me about their journey. And I promise you, that is I almost use the word priceless, and we have a price on it, because that's knowledge that someone could use forever. And more importantly, if they're not because I talk a lot about being properly funded. That's the only way you're going to win. And if they're not properly funded today, they may be tomorrow, next week, next year, 3 years from now, when they graduate, when they're already 2 or 3 years into their career and they're making money. Now, all of a sudden, they could implement that Blackjack, because it's the same blueprint I used 10 years ago. When those of you who knew me back in 15 years now, back in 2010, were seeing when I was working with a team and we were just playing Blackjack. Again, I don't want to go long, and it isn't about promotion or any of that. Like, those that have a goal, that want to partner with me, you guys already know what to do. I'm not trying to sell anything. The only thing I'm trying to explain is that Blackjack course. Like, if someone's interested in learning how to beat the game, because it's a beatable game, there's gold. That's gold. It's just sitting there. And with it, you'll get the year of winning information. Right now, here's how we're running. We're right around that break-even mark. We've gone up and down, up and down. We're right around that break-even. We go up where we're up 20, 30 units. Then we're down 20, 30 units, up 20, 30 units, down 10 units, up 15, down 5. Like, we haven't had that run yet. But with the amount of bets we placed, we're now in that area of statistical significance. And I feel confident that when the dust settles, we will be in that 0.5%. I feel very confident. So what do we got going today? Let me see if there's any questions. Let me see. Yeah, please hit that like button. You know, I don't ask for shit. I'm not asking for nothing. Not sending you links, none of that stuff. Just if you want to get involved with me, you want to partner up, go to wagerstalk.com. It's very simple. If you got accounts, you know what else to do. DM. With that said, number 1 in profit last 3 days, number 1 in profit last 7 days. It's good to be running hot, but that means absolutely nothing. My only goal is to win year after year. Like I said, now won 8 of the last 10 years. We're right around that break-even mark for 2025. And I'm very confident when the dust settles, we will have turned in a great year. Set up very nicely for NFL and college football this year, better than I have in a little bit of while. You guys already have received 2 NFL season win totals, including a 5%. You know how I'm running on those 5%. And also the first college football season win total came out this week. Coming up over the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to get a handful of teams, yes or no, whether they'll make the playoffs. You're going to get season win totals and even possible futures to win the division, win the Super Bowl, that kind of stuff. That's coming. That much I can promise you. In the meantime, we're going to be betting Major League Baseball. We're going to be betting MMA. We're grinding in MLB right now. WNBA comes in, NBA Summer League. You know, we're getting involved. We have 2 Summer League bets today. 2 Summer League bets, okay? We have the Chicago Bulls plus the 8 as a 3% play. And then we have Indiana Pacers plus the 4 as a 3% play. We started betting Indiana at +5, all the way down to +4, and we took Chicago at +8 in Summer League NBA. Okay? Now, we don't bet 3% of our bankroll on a play, 4%, 5%. The ratings at Wager Talk reflect strength. They go 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. 1% being the weakest, 5% play being the strongest. They are not a recommendation of bet size. Because if you bet size 5% of your bankroll per play, you're going broke. Your risk of ruin is too high to overcome the losing streak. That's a mathematical certainty over every year of betting. You will have negative runs. I used to tell bettors all the time, go look, because every single day was posted at the big moves. Every single day, the bets and the results. And they stayed up there for 9 years, 8 years. They stayed there every single day. And I urged my subscribers, scroll through any one of those winning years, and you will see a run that is horrific, that looks like we were guessing, we were throwing darts. And yet, that was possibly our biggest year, profitable. But during it, you're going to have some negative runs. And if you don't bet size correctly, the information becomes meaningless. Your risk of ruin is too high. As a gambler, the only thing you're focusing on is, what is my risk of ruin? And do I have positive EV? Now, your risk of ruin, you determine it once you're a positive EV bettor. Once you've proven to be profitable, you can determine what your risk of ruin is. What is the risk I'm going to lose my bankroll completely? Because even with an edge, you will lose your bankroll completely if you're not funded correctly. And here's what I mean. Let's say I want to work with a 10% risk of ruin, which means 9 out of 10 times I'm going to double my bankroll. 1 out of 10 times I'm going to lose it. I need to have 500 units to do that. So if I'm betting $10 a game, I need $5,000 to bet $10 a unit. So if I'm spreading from, 1 unit to 5 units, from going from from $10 to $50, okay? You got to have a $5,000 bankroll to have a 10% risk of ruin. Now let's be honest. How many of us with a $5,000 bankroll are betting $10? Well, that's why 99.5% of bettors have negative lifetime earnings. That's why 99% of bettors have lost money betting sports, because the risk of ruin is too high. So you need 500 units just to have a 10% risk of ruin. Well, I work with a 20% risk of ruin. That's my comfort zone in sports. In blackjack, I work with a 10% risk of ruin, because in blackjack, you're placing so many bets so quickly. You want your risk of ruin to be low, because you can go on that bad run really fast and get busted up. You don't want that. So I work with a 10% risk of ruin in blackjack. In sports, I'm comfortable with a 20% risk of ruin because I don't have the volume. In blackjack, I could bet one-on-one with a fast dealer. I could get 150, 200 hands an hour. So in 6 hours at 150 hands, I'm making 900 bets a day. Even if I'm only working 5 days a week, not 7 like sports, I'm making 4,500 bets a week. That's 18,000 bets a month. You know how long it's going to take you to place 18,000 bets in sports? I'm a high volume guy, and it's still going to take me more than 5 years to do that. In blackjack, it's going to take you 1 month. That's why you got to keep your risk of ruin low so you don't get ruined. In sports, I'm not doing that kind of volume. So I'm not going to get ruined in 1 weekend, in 1 week. I work with an 80-20. And no coincidence, I turned the profit 8 of 10 years. 2 of the years, I lost the bankroll. 8 of the 10 years, I increased the bankroll. That's my risk of ruin I was working with. I explained that to subscribers. To do that, I needed 400 units. That's what you need. So if you're betting $25 a unit, you need 10 dimes, $10,000. And let's say it again. How many out there with $10,000 in your pocket are only betting $25? I'll wait. Exactly. That's why 99.5% of sports bettors have lost money doing that, because the risk of ruin is too high. In fact, dude, if you only wanted, let's say you wanted 40%, let's say you're like, you know what, I'm a gambler, I'm young, I could recover my money. Even if I lose my bankroll, I could replenish it and have another crack at them. Let's say I want to have a 40% risk of ruin. I'm much better than a coin flip, 60-40 my way, where I double my bank 6 out of 10 times and I lose it 4 out of 10 times. Okay? You're still going to need over 200 units to do that. So again, if you're betting $10, or let's say you're betting $25, you need 5 dimes to do that. At $10, you need 2,000. So how many bettors out there with 2 dimes in your pocket are betting $10? Again, and that's still, you're going to lose your bankroll 4 out of 10 times. That's with winning information. That's having about, a 2% edge when it's all said and done. With that edge, you're still going to go broke 4 out of 10 times if you don't have more than 200 units at your disposal. This is why I don't bet size 3%, 4%, 5%. I bet size 0.25s of that. So a quarter of that. That means a 5% play for me is 0.25 of that. So I'm only betting 1.25% of my bankroll, not 5%. For easier math, on a 4% rating, I'm betting 1% of bankroll, 0.25. 0.25 of 4% is 1%. So I'm only betting 1% of bankroll. That means on these 5% plays that I'm number one in profit at Wager Talk, over the last 365, we hit over 70%. I'm very, 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 very selective with them 5%. In fact, I don't even have one for today. And there's the UFC card. And I'm just coming off one where we won. So I could turn one into a 5%. You know how many packages I would sell today with nothing else really going on? I'd make so much freaking money right now if I just say I got a 5% in the UFC, but I won't do it because it's not warranted. It's not there. My goal is to make money for subscribers when the year's over. That's how I grade myself. Luckily, I make money from the accounts and betting this stuff that I could keep it real with you. And I want to partner with guys. I don't care if it's just one of you in this Steam room and we're doing this together, that actually are going to make money doing this, that are going to follow the blueprint and aren't going to overbet. That when I'm firing that 5%, they're actually only betting 1.25% of bankroll. So if they got a $10,000 roll and I fire 5%, they're betting $125 on a dog and to win 125 on a favorite. And guess what? For UFC 318, you're getting a 5% play. 5% play. That's coming out Monday. Monday. 5% for 318. May come out Sunday. I just wanted to level out a little with the lines, meaning for more outs to offer them for subscribers. So thank you, brother. Thank you, Johnny. Hope everything's well, Johnny. I always love when I see your tweets. Please understand, no disrespect when I don't take time and write back. I try to like it so you see that I read it. I've just been really, really, really busy, man. There's so much going on right now where with social media, I'm not really even on it. Luckily, I have my girl that more or less checks it for me and stuff like that. If there's something that she thinks I should look at or see, or she posts some things. But I've just been so busy now. I've acquired more groups, which means I've had to find more betting accounts for them. So I've been out there working with agents and even meeting subscribers to get those accounts. So these groups could be betting because they're doing really well with some of the live stuff. They're doing really well with a lot of the props that are time sensitive that I can't even release to subscribers. And I want to make sure they're ready for football, that we have enough. So please don't take that ever as a disrespect. Johnny Falk, my man. Welcome to the party, baby. Matt, yep, it is, sir. Fight night it is. Paul, always a pleasure seeing you, my brother. Always. Yeah, I know, man. Hey, try to get outs, bro. Yeah, silver's making its run. Don't worry. Silver's making its run. We've been talking gold for how many years now on this show? How much? How many years? How many years? All right. Jay Pacino, welcome to the party, brother. The pleasure's mine. Listen, bro, I know a lot of people will leave. Like, I know if I talk just free picks and all that, I'll have not 800 people, I'll have 8,000 people. Not 8,000, you know what I'm saying? But dude, I don't, that's not my goal. My goal is to inspire someone out there to do it the right way so they don't have to go through all the bullshit I went through, or to inspire someone to get into this industry even, and to inspire someone that they can do it, that it is possible to beat the betting market. It is possible to make money betting sports. It is possible to use it as an investment vehicle, but you got to do it the right way, or you don't deserve to be profitable. I'm going to use the same analogy, and a lot of you guys have been with me here a long time, so you've heard it before. Listen to me clearly. You see these? They're nothing to be proud of, right? Look, I don't look like a guy on the. I want to. I prayed every day. I wanted to. I want to look like the guys on the cover of Muscle and Fitness. I want to have that body, right? But I don't eat like them. I don't sleep like them. I don't sacrifice like them. I don't work out like them. I don't live like them. So what am I doing in my life to deserve to look like that? Nothing. So I don't. Sports betting, same thing. We know you get 200 sports bettors in a room, only one of them is profitable. How crazy is that? How crazy? You can't even, with 100, not even one. That's what the math tells us. You need 200 in the room just for one to have a chance of being profitable. So out of 1,000 people, what do you got? Five. So you walk into a sports book with 1,000 guys in there and gals, 5 of them, if at the most, 5 of them are up money betting sports in their lifetime. Okay. So if you want to be in that 0.5%, you can't bet for action. You can't only have 1, 2, or 3 books. You got to be shopping for lines. You got to only bet when you know you have an edge, not because the game's on TV, not because you're going to watch it with friends and I want action. No, not because, there's nothing else to do. No, none of those actions reflect a winning sports bettor. And what about risk of ruin? I have $1,000 bankroll. I'm betting 50 a game. That's not bad, right, Ace? What are you talking about? You're betting 5% of your bankroll. Do you know what your risk of ruin is? You're going to go broke. So doing that, how does that reflect the winning, that 0.5%, that winning sports bettor? Why do you deserve to be in that bracket, in that company, forgive me, of winners that actually profit betting sports? You bet for action. You don't have $20 to look at for lines, to shop the best number. You're over betting. You're over betting your edge. You have $1,000 bankroll and you're betting 5% on a bet. All those, how do you deserve to be in that 0.5%? I'm just keeping it real, bro. I'm just keeping it real. And that's where the mistake is. Like today, I gave out 2 4% in baseball. Here, I'll give them to you. Because we're going to fire some more in a second. Okay? In fact, I gave under in Toronto and under in the Dodgers, 4% on each one. That's 1% of bankroll for me. 0.25 of 4% is 1%. So I'm betting 1% of bankroll on each. Okay? If I bump them up to a 5% play, I'm only going to 1.25. But if I made one of them a 5% play and put it on the package, not only would I sell 50 times more. So if I sell 20 of these today, I would be selling 1,000. Trust me when I tell you, if it was a 5%, right? Why? Because those recreational bettors out there chasing those big plays would think, oh, that's the strongest now. Now I could unload. I could unload. It's that mentality that's going to make you broke. Even if I win that bet for you, because your actions will eventually result in you losing your money. Bad bets win all the time, just like good bets lose all the time. But continually doing it will determine whether you go broke or whether you're profitable. Like if you're only going to place one bet in your life, then the line doesn't matter. Nothing matters. The only thing that matters is picking the right side, winning that bet. That's all that matters. But if you're going to be betting tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, next 5 years, then that's not what matters. The only thing that matters is placing good bets and managing my risk correctly. That's it. That's the job. And a perfect example is that 5% that I'm talking about. Okay? In the last UFC, right? I had a 5% play, right? And we hit it, right? My 5% play was on Jose Delgado, and I hit that 5% play, okay? Prior to that, okay, I had a 5% play the week prior on Jamal Hill. Now, Jamal Hill lost, and he looked awful. But as a bettor that bets for profit, and that's all I care about, the Jamal Hill bet was better than the one that won last week on Delgado. Here's why. Because when I released Jamal Hill to you, my subscribers, as a 5% bet, I sent it out at even money. He closed at about minus 150. So we bet on 50% break-even proposition, and he closed at a 60% break-even implied win probability. So a 10% increase. We had a 10% edge there in implied win probability on that bet. You can't get better than that. Now, that bet lost. But that's the job. If I could do that over and over again, there's nothing they could do. I'm going to beat them. It's just like Blackjack. As long as I keep the count correctly, I bet size based on the count correctly, and I deviate from basic strategy based on the count, there's nothing they can do. I'm going to take their money. It's just a matter of time. But in any one hand, any one game, any one fight, there's going to be randomness involved. A penalty that changes everything. A random fumble that changes everything. When a ball hits the ground on a fumble, it's 50-50 who's going to pick it up. That's random. A judge screws up in MMA. That's random. But the last week on Delgado, that line, I think I gave it out at a higher line than it closed. So I didn't do my job there. It won, though. It won. To most, that's all they cared about. Like, that's the much better bet. But it actually wasn't. The Jamal Hill was the better bet. It didn't win. What I'm trying to explain why I bring that up is so you can stop focusing on the short term. Stop looking for the short term. That's the mistake most of us all make with everything, whether it's with diet, whether it's with money. We want long-term results in the short amount of time. And that's a contradiction. That's not possible. So you're not getting rich overnight betting sports, but you could use it as an investment vehicle to become wealthy. But like everything, it takes patience and time. You got to treat it like a business so it pays like a business. Again, you open a business, most businesses, you're lucky if you're profitable within a couple of years. Well, if you have a sports bettor, your bankroll is your business. Don't treat it like you're gambling. Treat it like it's your business. Protect it like it's your business. Bet size like it's your business. And then either get access to winning information or be able to do it on your own. That's it. So we can move that to the side now. We talked about bet sizing correctly. We talked about risk of ruin. We went over short-term and long-term results. Now we could get into the meat of it because I don't want to keep you here all day. I got UFC to handicap. I got more baseball stuff coming in, I'm sure. And of course, Summer League. So let's get to the action. Let's get to the action. Thank you, Michael. What's up, my brother? GTV, my man. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's all I'm trying to do, Dontrell. Honestly, I made every mistake you could possibly make. Bro, nobody in this room right now that I'm talking to has made more mistakes betting on sports than I have. Okay? I've been doing this since 14 years old. Over 35 years. I've been betting seriously every single day for almost 30 years. I don't know how to do anything else. I don't know how to do nothing else. This, when it comes to sports betting, blackjack, those are two things that I know I'm a master. I could speak as a master. And again, I'm not talking from like trying to act like a level of authority, but what I'm saying is, I promise you, what I'm sharing with you is factual. It's not opinion. And it comes, most of it, from my experience. I've lost enough for all of you in here. I have an Ivy League education that I paid for by losing bankrolls to bookmakers when I had access to the sharpest information on the planet. I came out here and I became a runner for the sharpest betting syndicates in the world. So I had their bets every single day in the palm of my hand. And they were winning money back then at a rate you can't duplicate today because the lines are all copied off each other now. That wasn't the case back then. From one book to the other, the lines were different. They didn't get the information from social media quickly like they do now and from the internet. We were so far ahead. Our edge was so great back then. These guys were destroying bookies. And yet, I wasn't making money. I was rich 1 month, 2 months, then I was broke. My bankroll was everything. It paid my bills. It paid my entertainment, my recreation, everything. It was my betting. That wasn't treating it like a business. And I managed to go broke over and over and over again. I drove a cab. I bartended. I was a waiter. I did all those, low skill jobs that you have to do when you don't have a degree to replenish a bankroll that I was going to lose again with that winning information because I wasn't betting it correctly. That's why I'm saying I paid for that Ivy League education and I'm willing to share it with you so that you can avoid it. You could avoid those mistakes. Because, bro, if you're parlaying, if you don't shop for the best number, if you're betting for action because the game's on TV, if you're betting more than 1% of your bankroll per play, like you're setting yourself up to do exactly what I did back then. And that's lose my money to the bookies. Why would you do that? Just don't bet. Invest that money in crypto or gold or a stock like Nvidia or Tesla, something that's not going anywhere. And then just bet for fun. Throw in some parlay, bet if it's on TV, but entertainment money. Because that we don't care if we waste, right? Like no matter what hobby you have, if you like watching movies, going to the movies, if you like shooting pool, if you like going to strip clubs, like all that form of entertainment is going to cost you money. So if your entertainment's betting sports, so it's going to cost you a little bit of money. Good thing is sometimes you're going to win as well. There's nothing wrong with that, dude. Do it for fun. Most people should do it for fun. This is me who sells information and makes my money doing that, is telling you that most of you shouldn't be doing it like I'm doing it. The majority of you should be doing it for entertainment. But there are that few of you that do have the discipline, that do have the passion, the desire, are ambitious enough to actually use sports betting as an investment vehicle. And that's what I'm here for, to help navigate for you so you avoid those potholes and freaking canyons that are out there for you to fall into. I'm here to help you brush those demons off your shoulder that I got to wake up and brush every single day, my friend, every single day. So smash that like button, share this with your friends. Let's get to some winners. Thank you, GTV. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And if you're having a tough time out there, because things are tough, man, I know inflation and, people are seeing crypto go up and stocks go up. And some of you guys are so young, you haven't even had a chance to get involved yet in that stuff. Don't let that hurt you. Dude, don't stare at that shit. Don't feel like you're behind. Everyone's journey is different. Like, don't compare yourself to anyone else but yourself. You will get disappointed, I promise you. And it'll be a waste of your time because everyone's life starts differently. We all have a different upbringing. I lost my father as a kid, so I didn't have a man there to teach me about money management, about earning and saving. Like, we came straight off the boat. My mom didn't even speak English, never worked a day in her life. So she couldn't help if she wanted to. So it's like my life is different. I can't compare it to someone who didn't have those experiences, who may have been born from, two professionals who were wealthy, knew about investments. Like me and that kid are not going to be at the same place, especially when we're in our 20s. So don't compare yourself to nobody. Turn that shit off with social media and people showing off with all that nonsense. Compare yourself to your older you. Am I better than I was a month ago? Am I better than I was yesterday? Am I better than I was a year ago? If the answer is yes, you're doing a good job. God bless you. If the answer is no, be honest with yourself and change that shit. That's it. It's that simple, man. Just if you're not looking at your old self, and when I look at some old videos of myself, I cringe because I've grown and evolved. You should cringe at your old self. There's nothing wrong with that. But I promise you, you will have nothing but disappointment, anxiety, and depression if you compare yourself to anyone else out there. Compare yourself to you constantly. And even in sports betting, am I doing it better than I was a week ago, a month ago, a year ago? That's progress. And if you're suffering from any stress, there's one thing that I found that honestly, when I'm doing this, my life is at peace, man. All my life, my insecurity because of being poor, growing up poor and all that was always like, hey, once I get money, I'll be happy. Once I get money, the girls come, that everything's great, right? Bro, you end up, and then for coming here with $600, I had some successes. I've done okay in my life, Again, comparing myself to my older self. I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish. But when I got there, I felt empty still. I was still empty. And it wasn't until my girl got me back to where my roots was, because I grew up in the church. I was an altar boy till I was in my teens. And it wasn't until I revisited that as an adult and grabbed the Bible and read the Old Testament, the New Testament, forgive me, and really dug back into my faith, that my life got really better. Like not just financially, but my spirit, my heart, my soul got better. My anxiety went away. I was taking every sleep medicine you could possibly take because I have OCD. So once I wake, my thoughts just you gotta see the cleaning. I have OCD. It's just one of those things. So I couldn't get peace. There was never peace in my head. Not until that. On those nights when I'm actually, we had a little routine, me and my girl, we'd make our tea, get in bed early, like old people, read the Bible out loud to each other, talk about it for a minute or two, then chill and watch, one of those A&E murder shows and fall asleep. When I'm doing that, my life's always going best. Everything is balanced and peace. But like every human, I have my faults. I'm a sinner like the rest of us. I'm not worthy like the rest of us. So I go off track too. And it never fails that when I'm not doing that routine every day, like how my life isn't going as good. So I don't want to preach to you guys. I know we're here for sports betting, but life's challenging, man. And with inflation and things going to get harder before they get better, like I just want to let you know there's places you could turn, and not to make you feel better, but to truly make you better. And one of those places that I found best of all was Jesus Christ and the New Testament and God and the Bible. That's helped me and saved me, especially of late. So God bless you guys, you and your families. I hope you're all doing well. Again, thank you. Thank you for sharing time with me. Smash that like button, share if you can. Again, there's a free play or two probably over at wagertalk.com. Make sure you get that. And now we're going to get into some games. Yes, sir, Corey. Couldn't have said it better, bro. Amen, Razy. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. We're all sinners, bro. We're all sinners. All right, let's get into tonight's action. Let's go. Because I think I got some someone asked about boxing. I think I got some oh, yay, this bookie just sent the money. Whew. All right, all right. Always nice to get crypto when crypto's going up, right? Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into work. We got work. We got work. Because Gianni got some more bets to make in baseball. Ready? See if anything else came in. Okay, I heard. All right, something did come in. All right, here we go. Are we ready? Ready to fire? Get ready to fire. Pull up that baseball. Come on. Come on, pull up the baseball, please. Oh, I forgot. I just wanted to. Oh, I'm going to show it to you. You want to laugh? Check this shit out. Look, it says, oh, bot action will shut account. He warned that no bots, no bots, no bots. He said, no mas. We don't want no bots from you. Any bot action will not be accepted or tolerated. I love those messages. My man ain't tolerating shit from me, he said. He said, Gianni, take those bots and you know where you can shove them. That's what he said. Just like that, he said. All right, come here. We got bets to make. You ready? Let's go. Stop messing around. First up. Atlanta and St. Louis. Atlanta and St. Louis. All right, Atlanta and St. Louis. We got a 4% play. 4% play. This was very close to being a 5%er. But we're going to keep it at a 4. Okay? Atlanta. St. Louis, 951. 951. 4% play. Under 9.5. Minus 108. Good to minus 115. 4% to minus 115. Okay? Hold on. There's more coming. I told you, you're going to get live bets now. And we're running really hot in baseball. Okay, this is good to minus 115. 115. All right? So here we go. We're going under 9.5 St. Louis. Let me write that down. Okay? That's a 4% play. I'm not done. I got another one for you. All done. This is live. See, this ain't scripted. We're live trading here, baby. We're live trading. Let's go. Where are we going? 10:59, 9:59, 9:59. Okay. Ready? We're going to go Phillies. Phillies. This is a first 5 bet on the Phillies. Versus San Diego. 3% play, 3% play. First half money line on Philadelphia. First half money line. Minus 185. Minus 185. That's good up to, for 3%, up to minus 190. Up to minus 190. Higher than that, drop it to 2%. Drop it to 2. But we're adding Phillies in there. All right. Go Phils. One sec. Still waiting for stuff coming in. All right. So we just did the Phils as a 3. You should have, let me see, 4 baseball so far, right? Let's check that, make sure. 2 NBA. Yep. All right, good. Good, 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 good. I'm sending a subscribers. You guys should be getting another play as well. I can't give everything for free. These guys are paying, so you guys got enough baseball, enough free baseball. But subscribers are getting another play right now. Actually, it's two plays. Two plays right now. Let me get this out, and then we'll talk MMA too, and I'll get you guys out of here unless you got questions. Sorry, just got to send this out. And you should have, yeah, the 3 futures already. Oh, Craig, I like that question. Let me finish putting this out. I like that question. Hold on. Let me see one more. Last, so then we'll be done baseball. Let me just finish this. I love that Atlanta under. Ooh, Yankees at plus money live right now. Okay. I'm not going to mess with it, but I do like the over. I like the over in that Yankees live. Hold on. I can't give it as a premium, but I could bet it. Let's wait. Let's see what's going on in the Yankees right now. Top two, nobody out. The over-under's 8. Ooh. Give me 7.5, and I'm going. Okay, there's 7.5s there. I just went over 7.5. Over 7.5 in the Yankees live, minus 120. Hold on, let's get that out there for you. All right. So I went over 7.5. Just bet that. Just bet that as a 3%. All right. Now I got to bet the rest of this baseball really fast. Where is that? Also saw steam on Milwaukee. It's a little chalky, man. But Milwaukee. Maybe look at that run line, Milwaukee. Give me a second. I'm just putting some bets in. All right. I'm betting more on St. Louis, Atlanta. Sorry, St. Louis. On anyone 9.5, because I see nines. I got 9.5. I got to bet more. I got to bet more. I can't. Got to do it. Got to do it. Now. All right. Oh, I'm finishing up. Just got to get these in. Sorry. Just two more. Boom. All right. All the baseball's in, baby. All the baseball's in for now. But subscribers, remember that group from up north that we're always talking about, they start firing this hour. That last stuff was theirs that we just got, but they're going to keep firing. So you should expect at least another one or two plays in baseball. Okay. So now you got baseball, you got NBA Summer League. What else could I get you involved in? The golf is older. All right. We are caught up. We're caught up. We're caught up. Subscribers, you should have now six Major League Baseball bets. 6 Major League Baseball bets. One, two, three, four, five. Boom. All right. All right. Any questions before we get into MMA and call it? We've already been over an hour. Wow. Yeah, Mark, that's what we do, bro. That's the job. Again, I love what when you get respect, that's what should happen. Like we bet under 9.5 Atlanta, St. Louis. You're able to get it. We're on here live. And right after you look and it's at 9. You placed a good bet, bro. I hope they go out there and they win and cash that ticket for us. But that's the goal. That's where you become a mathematical certainty to be profitable. And then it's on you to manage your risk correctly. Like if you're able to do that, what we just did, and that's what we do every single day, subscribers know. And if you have multiple outs, you should be able to get most of these numbers. There's some that you won't because I can't control how much they bet and, to move the line and whether they go on screen with some of it. If they don't, then those are the ones you should get, the line, no problem. But if it's not there, you let it go. We have more than enough volume. You don't have to take bad numbers because when you take a bad number, you're betting from a position of weakness, no longer from a position of strength. When you have a good number, it's like buying crypto or a stock. If the market crashes, but you got in at a good price, you're good. It's when you bought high and the market crashes that you panic. It's when you FOMO'd in, when you bought at the all-time high and you chased. That's when, if things go south, now you have a problem. Now you have a decision to make because you bought at the top. But if you bought down low, you don't have any decision to make. You're still ahead. You're still up. You did the job. You got in early at a good price, and the market is rewarding you for that by showing you were right. And the market's rewarding you for going under in Atlanta, St. Louis, under 9.5 by now posting a 9. That's your reward for being right. Doesn't mean it's going to win, but you were right. 9.5 was too high. And that's why it's now 9. That's all we're doing here. If you could separate yourself from being a fan and cheering in these players and these teams, and you could simply look at it from that perspective, price, where it opens, where it's at, and where it closes, and getting out ahead of that and treating it like that's the goal. Placing good bets, not predicting outcomes. Who can do that? If I could predict outcomes, forget about it. Why would I be wasting that talent with sports, But I swear, my goals, I just see so much nonsense out there on the internet with sports betting. It was hard enough when I was growing up with the 900 numbers and all those dudes that were able to lie about how well they were doing because who could call them out? And if you did call them out, who are you going to tell? Nobody. Your best friend, maybe. Oh, don't buy that. That guy's talking shit. But you can't say anything now. You put it out on the internet, And there's just so much nonsense out there. So many misconceptions. A guy's got a nice car, and all of a sudden he's an authority on sports betting because that's the image we see. Like, oh, wait, he's in a $100,000 car, so he's probably right. Really? Like if you just happen to be driving, that's the kind of cars you own. That's different. You're going to do a video on the car. It's going to be in a nice car. But if you're using it as a prop and using jewelry as a prop and cash as a prop, what are you doing, dude? What does that have to do with anything? What are you telling me? That if I like, what are you selling me? What does that have to do with anything? You showing me Oh, $50,000, $100,000. What is that going to do for me? Like, what does that mean? That you have 50 or $100,000? That's what that means. What's it got to do with sports betting? Like, oh, that's what you're the narrative. That's trying to portray that this was won by that. Come on, stop the nonsense, please, please. No, Duffel, you're good. They're the kind of books that I use. And I use credit outs. Like I live in Vegas. I could go bet at the casinos. But why am I going to tie up my cash in a non-interest bearing account? I could just have it sitting at Coinbase and get 4.5% on my money. Why would I have it sitting at Caesars or at MGM or any of those places that are going to then report me to the government when I have to fill out CTRs, cash transaction receipts for anything over 10,000? Why do I want that headache? I deal with bookies who give me credit because they trust me that I'm going to be able to settle whatever the figure is. That's how I work. I work 90+% of bookies. I only make cash bets to get more down. In fact, like this, if I was at the casino right now, I'd be cash betting the under in Atlanta, St. Louis. In fact, I almost want to go to the casino, to be honest, and bet some more cash. But yeah, Rosie says doesn't like the spot for Miami. Let's take a look for him real quick. I got to agree with my man. I like Baltimore too. Miami just hasn't been able to put up any runs. They just haven't. And against Rodgers, I think that's going to be a problem. And if you can't put up runs, can't win baseball games. I agree with you. I like Baltimore. Uh, yeah, it's a decent bet. Yep, Mark, that is the hardest, man. Dude, do you know how much money I've lost on bets I should have never made? If I could just recover that on stuff that I only did, I've lost like sometimes thousands of dollars on live bets that I wouldn't have even made had I not been in front of my computer with a game on TV. Like, and that enticed me. I've been doing this long and I still have to fight that. I still do that shit. And I'm talking about, I did that mistake within I still remember it because it's been within 6 months. And I remember I was telling Nick about it. Dude, I just lost $2,500 last night for nothing on something I had no intention of doing. Like, again, those, you got to brush those off. Those are the stuff that costs us, brother. Those cost us. $1.3 units on Cleveland. I hope you hit it, brother. I hope you hit it. Over the White Sox. Good luck. I don't have a side in that fight, but I lean the other way. I kind of like the White Sox in that game a little bit. Just saw a little sharp money on them and as home dogs, but I'll cheer you in because I don't have a dog in the fight, Inter. So I hope you hit it, brother. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope Cleveland goes in there and spanks the White Sox for you today. Texas future. Thank you. I forgot to look for you. What do I got? Here's what my guys' projections have. No. Unfortunately, Texas isn't going to make the playoffs because they're only going to win 80 games when the dust settles. Seattle will be ahead of them, and Houston and Seattle. Yeah. He has Houston winning, what's it called? 91 games. He has Seattle winning 88 games, and he has Texas winning 80 games when the dust settles. We'll be able to use his projections at the break for second half season win totals in baseball. I've done great with those by using his projections. They're so good. That's all he does. This guy, he's a math guy. He's not even like a gambler, but he saw that he has an edge in baseball season wins. So that's all he bets. Before the season starts, he bets, and then at the All-Star break. Doesn't bet any other sport, doesn't care. Like I said, he's an investor, stock, that kind of guy. Works for like Bank of America, doing that kind of stuff. And so he's just that's not his thing. But because he's a really, really smart guy, math guy, he saw he's able to make really good projections. And I think it's because he did it for like his college thesis or some shit like that, like for his math, something in college with math. And he did this big paper on how the baseball season win totals are inefficient and why. And anyway, he's done that since, and he just bets season win totals. That's all he does. But he follows baseball the whole year, and just box scores, runs scored, runs allowed. That's all he looks at. Runs scored, runs allowed. More or less, that's like 90% of his blueprint on picking these. Because based on runs scored, runs allowed, a team should win so many games. Is how he explained it to me. And sometimes they don't because they get lucky or unlucky. Anyway, that's part of his magic. And he also even says what is their project percentage to make the playoffs and stuff. And for Texas, right now, he has them at a 17% chance to make the playoffs. 17% to win the playoffs. Yeah, to get in the playoffs. And less than a 2% chance, 2.5% chance to win the division. Yeah, so about 2.5% chance to win the division. Blue Jays, Blue Jays, Blue Jays today, Toronto. I know I like a low scoring game. I like the under. Let me see on the side. I don't really have an opinion, but what I can tell you is that some sharp money, there's been sharp money on the Athletics in this spot. You know, they got their hot pitcher coming off a game that he gave up a lot of runs, gave up 4 runs. So I understand why. They're looking for a bounce back from Lopez. Um, So hopefully he pitches well and that we get that under also. All right, so let's go real quick through UFC because I got to get it going. I got to get going. I'm 20 minutes longer than I should. So let's go. Let's get through this. Again, I've only given 3 UFC premiums so far. All 3 4% plays. One is even a parlay. One is even a parlay. So let me pull that up. Okay. All right. Start at the bottom real quick. Martinez and Klein. Easy money for Klein. I mean, she shouldn't lose to Martinez here. I don't think I'm telling anyone anything they don't already know. I like the under in this one also. Lean under as well. Davis and Ramirez. As bad as Davis looked last time out, got to sprinkle something small on Ramirez, right? You may have to sprinkle something on Ramirez. Davis looked awful. And Chuku and Walker. Sprinkle on Walker. I think Chidi wins the decision. I know everybody's betting Chidi knockout. I think it's Chidi by decision or a small bet on Walker. Mora goes right through Murphy. I like Mora. Mora probably by decision. Matthews and Jokwani, that's a coin flip. Maybe the under gives a little bit of value. I think it's a little bit too high at minus 200. I don't think 2 out of 3 times. I think more like 60, a little higher than 60% of the time it goes to a decision. Griffin and Curtis. Curtis line's too high. Again, all these favorites are priced a little bit too high. They're probably going to win. Like a minus 320 should win. You know what I mean? It's going to win 75% of the time. But I just think I think it's too high. I think there's even a little bit of value on Max Griffin in that spot. I didn't know Walker had that big of a reach advantage. Griffin just hasn't done well as a dog. 3 of 7. He's only won. But I don't have confidence betting Curtis as a favorite. He's lost 2 in a row. He's got 2 wins in his last 7 fights. Why do I want to lay money with him? This one, Tafa, this confuses me a little bit because on paper, Tafa should win this fight. Why isn't this line moving up? I mean, fine. Okay, today it finally got up to that 200 range. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Because it looks like Tapa's the right side to me. Petrino and Lane. Petrino at heavyweight. Yeah, he's going to get through Austin Lane, but this price is ridiculous. Morgan's going to get past Landwehr. Landwehr's getting some money live because he's gotten it done as a dog. I can see it. But I don't like it. I think Morgan finally gets that win. I think he should have won that last fight. Again, the judges got it right, but I thought his game plan was just not good. Cater Garcia. This is a huge step up for Garcia. It's got to be Cater or pass. I also think this one goes to the judges. I don't want to be holding my breath. Again, Garcia's been hot, but this is a step up for him. Bonfim goes right through Thompson. Yeah, the matchup, it's a nightmare stylistically for Thompson. Huge stylistic nightmare. I like Bonfim there. And the same thing with Teixeira and Lewis. As long as Teixeira avoids the big punch early, gets into the second round, it's Teixeira's fight. I know Teixeira hasn't gone into second rounds, but I'm just saying if he avoids the big shot, as fight progresses, power diminishes. But we have seen Lewis, everybody keeps talking about the Volkov fight, fighting someone a lot taller than you, bigger than you, how he got the knockout. He got the knockout with 3 seconds left. So yeah. I don't like it at all. I like it. I'll tell you now. I mean, I'll give it to you now. I gave out a 4% play, I'll give you a free 4% right now in MMA on Taliesin Teixeira. I gave him to my subscribers minus 280. He's now minus 325 at DraftKings. All right. So we did our job. Got in good. got our money in good at least. Like poker, as long as you get your money in good, the cards are going to play out how they're going to play out. But if you're getting your money in good over and over and over again, you'll be the winner. You'll be the winner. That's pretty much with MMA. Like I said, I only gave out 3 premium plays so far, so I can't give out too much, but I am about to work on that at noon. I'm going to do another hour of baseball because, like I said, the guys up north, they're betting. I just saw some more stuff going to the accounts. I still got to work on those, see if we're going to use any for you guys. Then it's just going to be Cage Warriors, UFC. I might give some Cage Warriors. I've been working on that card, started it last night as well. So we got a lot coming in the next 2 hours. Subscribers, have the accounts open. Have your phone ready. You're going to be getting UFC, Cage Warriors, Major League Baseball, plus any NBA Summer League that comes in. Make sure you get that. And yeah, that should do it. Let me just see if Richie sent anything. Richie. No. Johnson via decision, half bet. I think that was boxing yesterday. I don't even know what he did. I'm not sure. Oh, Shmika Johnson? Is that who he had? Because that's the only Johnson I see on that card. Shmika Johnson, right? I don't even know, but I think it was yesterday. All right. Good job. Good job. So that's going to do it. Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for spending some time with me. When the dust settles, hopefully we make some more money. Don't forget, head on over to wagertalk.com. Give support to those guys, man. Like I've been in the industry a long time. They're really trying to provide as much free content out there for bettors, as well as obviously run a business and trying to run a business the right way in an industry that's been shady at times in the past. Got to keep it real, tell it like it is. Make sure you give some support. And don't forget, I don't know why they're doing it right now, but they're giving that year. And with football coming, I'm getting the year guys anyway. They know we're about to have a good football season. I swear, I haven't been prepared like for a couple years like this with the college and NFL groups that I have lined up with accounts. We're going to get some real gold this year in football. That's why I'm even going to be doing the show of Wager Talk, the bet. I forget what we called it. Bet on it. There you go. Bet on it. I'll be in Bet on it this year as one of the co-hosts. And yeah, it's going to do it. Head on over, get that year plus Blackjack bonus. Love you guys. Thank you, Christopher. Craig, shout out my boy. Thank you. Be safe, guys. Be safe. God bless you and yours. Do some damage, whether you follow or fade, because you should disagree with me. You shouldn't agree with everything I bet on. I mean, you got your own opinions. A lot of you guys are really sharp out there. So it's okay to disagree. Respectfully disagree. That's fine. I hope you do some damage if you do. I swear I do. Wong Teaser King, baby. That's what it's the ace, the Wong Ace. We got to think of a name because it's the 2.0. We've changed it up. I've mastered that Wong Teaser. Thank you, Mark. I am so excited for football Wong Teasers this year. I can't believe you just said that. And you just made my day, bro. You just made my day. So yeah, God bless. Put this out, share this. When the dust settles, hopefully you guys make some money off those free bets. It's backed by my money. That's much I can promise you. Love you guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the games. Talk to you next week.